Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your co-pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our journey of learning just one Chinese expression a day. I'm really committed to make this happening for whoever is interested in learning another foreign language, which is so foreign, but actually it's not. It got the common shared human experience, human feelings, and the logic of how words are formed, how we make sense of this world. So yesterday we talked about 永垂不朽 as the kind of remembered by your story, like forever going to be continue and yet not going to be forgotten or die or rotten. So that's the expression in Chinese. And we carried over two characters there. So 朽木不可雕, 朽木不可雕. Okay, 朽 again is that tree. We talked about the symbols from the original character that came from the stop of a breath and the sound, the toll of the bell of the sound to announce a passing of a person. So that simply means dead. The act or the process of death, the ending of life. So 朽木 is a dead tree. Okay, mu is the cross with the canopy pointing downward. That's our mu. Rotten tree, that's what I use, but actually it means a dead piece of wood. And no can, okay. Probably by now you heard of no can. That's a common Chinese literal translation into Chinese. Like whoever speaks tiny little bit of English, the Chinese speakers, they would probably use no can because no by itself is 不 and can is 可. And often in Chinese, we put negation in front of this verb. So we don't say cannot, we say no can, negation in front. Okay. 不可, so cannot. 雕 is our carve or shape, like molding of something. So that's the 雕, and it actually came from this bird image that looks like this, with feathers, with the little feet tucked behind, and then this head of the bird and the beak of the bird. So this is a bird in flight, but it's upward because I mean we have to save space somehow, right? We want to put a bird symbol over there and a bird in flight, and it only makes sense we stack it up, pointing upward. And the left is this portion. We talked about that is a kind of last name of one of the earliest dynasties in China. That's Zhou. And it came from this mouse symbol, something related to your speaking, and then you're considering all parts of the field. So in your speaking, you're well thought, you considered every aspect that related, like stakeholders of your problem, right? So you address all their issues so that everybody is convinced and sign on board with you. So that's kind of Zhou. It means well thought, like every direction, everywhere, every aspect considered. So together, 雕 is the bird, and this is, I guess, the original sound maker. So it's a type of bird, and I would think it's more like a hawk. It's a predatory kind of bird with the beak kind of like that, with the claws. So it's a ferocious type of bird. And somehow, somewhere in history, this bird became was appropriate to mean the act of molding or carving things. It has nothing to do with the bird anymore, and that becomes more frequently, more commonly used meaning of the original hawk type of bird. 朽木不可雕 in Chinese expression is it's rotten. It's already a dead piece of wood, and you cannot carve anything out of it. So that's the sense of like a giving up. It's unusable. It's useless. You cannot do anything with it. You cannot make a piece of artwork from this rotten or dead piece of wood. That often is used actually not about a wood, about a person. So when we talk about somebody, 朽木不可雕 means that person refused to change, refused to listen, refused to adapt to new situations or new ideas, close-minded, just go down their own path, carrying their existing way, view things in exact same lens. Like there's no change. You cannot you cannot carve something out of them anymore. It's an English concept, ossified. Somebody is ossified, already formed their fixed way of behavior or thinking, like it's not negotiable anymore. They have their way. That's it. Ossified. But okay, here I put an image of actually some artists do use driftwood to piece together pretty complicated structure. So in here is a type of Western depiction of the dragons with kind of a, claw-like wings spreading out in the back and with, spikes along the spine. So it's pretty fearful image of dragon, but all of these pieces of it came from driftwood. So that's dead wood, maybe by itself, just one piece of dead wood because it's rotten, it's probably crumbly, you cannot really carve on it, it's going to, come apart. But if you piece it together, so instead of carving on one individual piece, you form them together into a bigger shape. That way you can actually mold it into something extraordinary, something else. So this is a kind of a negation of this expression, 朽木不可雕. Actually, you can recycle driftwoods and make it into a big piece of art, right? Cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.